Hello, beautifuls. I know it's been a long time since we've been able to meet, and I thank you so much for returning. I wanted to talk today a little bit about the amazing power that exists in each and every one of us, in you and in me. The power and ability to create, and more specifically, the ability to heal ourselves with that power. It comes up today because there was a reminder on Facebook. You know, the memories pop up. And it was a memory of me leaving the hospital 11 years ago. I have struggled with health issues since I was young. I had a TIA, or a minor stroke, when I was in grade 12, and progressively things continued to happen and my health deteriorated. At the age of 27, I found myself really ill. I was a full-grown adult down to 90 pounds, not of my own volition, just because I simply could not digest food. And then my organs started to shut down. So 11 years ago, I had an experience where my pancreas just decided it wasn't gonna work the way it was supposed to. And while I was in the hospital, my liver started to react, no doubt probably from the medication they were giving me for my pancreas, but then also my kidneys. And over the next few years of battling lupus, I ended up with spots on my brain, and eventually I was at the point where I couldn't walk. I was having what were like mini seizures. We'd be in the middle of a conversation like this and I would just stall. It was like vacant, gone. So obviously I lost my driver's license as well. And it was controlled under medication somewhat until it wasn't. And I just had this feeling that maybe I really wasn't sick. And I remember at the time I was dating somebody, and I had mentioned to him, I said, what if I'm not sick? What if I'm just transforming? What if it's a transition? What if something bigger was trying to get my attention? And he looked at me like I was crazy and said, oh, no, you're sick. And so I started to do some investigation and some research. And I had lots of time on my hands because I was off on disability. And the first thing I did was sit in my backyard, which was alongside the lake, amongst big trees, beautiful flowers. And every day I would sit all day out there while my children were in school. And I would read. I would listen to podcasts. I would watch YouTube videos. And they were people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Louise Hay, and Bruce Lipton. And I would spend time in deep meditation talking to my body. And during this time, I would have to go every so often and get my blood checked. And they were looking at my kidney markers. So with lupus, there are advanced stages, and there'll be a marker that shows up in your kidney. And then they want to watch that because that marker can turn into full-on kidney disease. And then that drastically shortens your life, and then the protocol obviously changes. So every few months I had to go for this blood test. And so after a substantial time of doing all of these practices, affirmations, grounding, being in nature, meditating, talking to my body, I went and did one of these blood tests. And a few days later, and my specialist was 5 hours away, and she called me and she said, hey, can you go and redo that test? And so instantly I got a little concerned, and I went and I did the test. A few days later, she returned the phone call and said, you know what, I don't mean to alarm you, but I think we've had a bad batch of tests. I really would appreciate it if you'd go and do another one. So now I was starting to get nervous. Even though I was feeling better, I was like, what's going on? I did the third one, and she asked if I could show up at her office the next day. It was a 5-hour trip. Now I was very concerned. So I show up, I'm in her office, and I still remember I'm sitting, and the door to her office was behind my chair. So she would be facing the door. And I was sitting there waiting for her, and she came in behind me and she said, "What are you doing?" And I didn't get the reference. I was like, sitting here? I don't know what you mean. And she says, "No, what are you doing?" And I'm like, I don't understand. She goes, "With your health, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I've been meditating, saying affirmations. I've been grounding, eating better." And she says, "No, what are you doing?" And I said, "That's exactly what I'm doing. Why?" And she said, "In all this time that I have been practicing, I've seen people not have a marker, and then I've seen the marker show up. And then I've seen a marker turn into kidney disease. But I have never seen somebody have a marker and then it disappear." And she said, "You're in remission." And I said, "I am not in remission. Please do not use that word, because remission means it's going to come back. I am healed." And I am happy to say I am healed. And I had some issue, Raynaud's, which was associated with lupus, but is very different. That seemed to have lingered until this year. And this year, that also dissipated. That, I do believe, was in part in help with the energy enhancement system. But I share this story not because I am special or because I want attention, because I want each and every one of us to recognize how powerful we are, that we can create health. We can create illness. We can create wealth. We can create whatever it is we want. We simply have to be aware that we have that power. And then there are some steps along the way that can make it easier, exponentially easier for us. But we all are capable of that. And if you are interested in stepping into your creation journey, be that one of healing chronic illness, or one of having a better relationship, or more security, more abundance, my information is below. It's what I do. It's what I love to help people with. And I thank you so much for tuning into this channel. And for those who have generously donated, I sincerely appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until we speak again, please be well.